Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, and welcome to Co-Creation Station, the podcast where we talk about the law of attraction, the art of allowing, spiritual magic, the mind-body-spirit connection, and how to best enjoy this mystical, miraculous, mysterious, crazy, sometimes confounding, but always incredible journey we call life. Happy 2024. My name is Collin. I'm located in beautiful, sunny North Hollywood, California.
My name is Stephanie Orlina. I am a transformational life coach and I'm in San Diego, California.
Thank you so much for listening or watching or both, whatever you're doing to join us today. We do want to let you know, as always, that we often mention the names Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks on this podcast. If you're not familiar with those names, or first time you're hearing them, Esther is a speaker and author who channels Abraham. Abraham is described as a group of entities from beyond our physical world who share their wisdom by speaking through Esther at workshops and speaking opportunities around the world. You can find out more about them online by searching for Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks on YouTube if you're watching us here, or your web browser. You can also go to their website, abraham-hicks.com. Each week we start our discussion from a different jumping off point. And this week, first off, Happy New Year. This is our first episode of 2024. So we wish you an abundant, happy, prosperous year ahead filled with lots and lots of good stuff that you are allowing into your life. The topic that I thought of for this week came out of something that you and I were talking about beforehand, as usual, which was when you've put something in your vortex, which means that you have had a desire for something and you would like to allow it into your life, and it has not shown up yet, and you decide that it should have shown up by now. It is past the point in time. There was a deadline. You had a deadline, and the universe did not meet the deadline. And what do you do at that point when the deadline that you set very clearly with the universe has been duly missed by said
Uh,
universe?
that's funny because I was talking to a friend on Saturday and she's like, let's do some visioning for 20. And she was, let's do vision boards. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in. And then she was, and then we could talk about our goals. And I'm like, and I must have had this look on my face because I'm like, um, I don't really, she goes, what? And I said, I don't really like doing goals. Oh, is that look on your face? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I'm happy to talk about my long-term, vision and
Yeah.
dreams and where I go, but goals don't really work for me. Because then I'm like, I gotta make it happen. And what if I don't? And you and I have talked about this before, about
Yeah.
setting a timeline, because a lot of people who are in the field of personal growth and self-help were like, set a firm date, and that
Yeah.
work for some people.
It does. Yeah.
Me, it just puts a ton of pressure. I get overwhelmed. It's not going to happen. I have all these negative, resistant thoughts, and it doesn't go well for me.
I think that's my only. I for years and years, I worshipped at the altar of goals, and there's a lot in, especially American society. In there's authors and speakers and workbooks and workshops and all sorts of things you can do to help set goals and create systems for meeting your goals and setting up timelines and checkpoints and things for your goals. And I worshipped at that altar for a long time. And I'm
I
not
love
going to
the
say
way
it
you
didn't.
say that. Worshipped at that altar.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
of
not gonna say
goals.
it didn't work at all. I mean, because I think at times it helped me focus, what I was putting energy towards, and I think that is helpful for me. But yeah, my problem with goals, and I, like you say, I think goals work really well for a lot of people, and so for those of people that it worked for, like, God bless them and let them continue to use them. Um, for me, the problem is, like, as soon as I set a goal, the way my programming from the past was done and set up, it's like it doesn't necessarily take the universe and, my higher power, as I refer to it, and energy and everything out of the equation, but it takes a lot of it out, and it makes it feel like, I think what you were saying and how you phrased it, it's just like, oh, this is all up to me. It's all up to my efforting, my actions that I come up with on my own, and I decide this is the action that will get me here, and this is the action that will get me here, and I will do this and I will do that. And I think even most of the people that really are wise about goals don't believe that it's that, sort of rigid and set. I think most people that are really wise understand that, like, even if you are like a goal setter and goal follower, you have to understand that like you're going to do a little part of it, and then the landscape's going to change. Like that's usually what happens is you move towards something you desire, and then the landscape changes in a way that you couldn't have known about when you started, going
Right.
after that. And for
Yeah.
me, I think that's why I love like vision boards and things like that, because it's, for me, when I do a vision board, I'm just hyper aware that there has to be some sort of magic going on, because obviously I'm
Mm.
not going to like, I just in my own, under my own power can't look at some pictures and then make things happen. Like that's got to be the universe or my higher power
Yeah.
or energy or something. And so for me, making a vision board is way more effective than goals, because
Mm.
again, goals sort of feel like a project that Collin has to like do and do all the steps and make it
Yeah.
happen and da da da. And vision boards are like, no, I just need to tell the universe what I want to allow into my life, what I want to attract into my life. And then I don't know how it happens, but like if I just look at that vision board and then I just spend time feeling good, that stuff just shows up. And it's creepy. I think a lot of people have done vision boards. It's like it's creepy how stuff shows up.
Why
Like
do you
I
say
just,
creepy? That's not, you
well, I
say
mean,
that word and that's, I'm like thinking it's not
yeah, it's not
creepy.
creepy. I mean, I guess what I mean is it feels strange because we expect ourselves to have more role in how things play out,
We get very logical about, I get
Yeah.
very logical, but that doesn't make sense. How can that possibly
Yeah.
be the case? And it goes back to what we were talking about. And last year's last episode was about, having to do it all. Like, well,
Yeah.
how? And
Yeah.
here's the structure,
Yeah.
and it's like it doesn't work that way. It's interesting because I was thinking about this the other day and I started making a list of all the things that I visualized and could feel and manifested, and then all that I wanted, and then a list of all the things that I wanted that I got. And
Mm.
Colin, I was really shocked by this. There's four things that I really, really wanted that I intentionally imagined in the morning, after my meditation time, and felt and spent focus time, just a couple of minutes every day, focusing on that I manifested. But there were probably like at least a list of 10 things that I never did any of that,
Mm. Yeah.
that came up that I really, really wanted, that were just as big as these other four.
Yeah.
And I was stunned
Yeah.
because I would have thought that there would have been more that I intentionally focused on
Yeah.
that I had manifested, and it was not the case. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to visualize it. I don't even have to make vision boards. And these things will eventually come about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think vision boards are required. I just think for me, they can be very helpful because they focus my point of attraction, as we say. You know,
Absolutely. Softens the resistance,
yeah.
gets me more in the believing in it and focusing on it than the doubting and it just
Because
having be
sometimes
this.
if I'm trying to allow something into my life, but I don't have a vision board, what my brain defaults to is like all my programmed negative beliefs about that thing. Like if I'm looking for a new job and I don't create a vision board for it, my brain will just tell me things like, "Oh, I don't think there's a lot of good jobs out there. I mean, the economy, just like, and I don't know, your resume is it really that great. And
Did you
it's like
create
none
vision
of,
boards for your jobs?
yeah, I have done before.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Um, yeah, and same thing like with dating and relationships. If I have a vision board of like what I'm looking for in a partner, it just helps me like go back to that. If I don't have that, I tend to get it, involved in what I think a lot of single people do, like, oh, there's no good people out there, or like it's 1 in a million. What are the odds I'm going to meet, blah blah blah. Um, and the vision board just helps me kind of like focus elsewhere and just go, oh yeah, number one, that's what I want. So I'm thinking about what I want, not what I don't want. And
Yeah.
then also, it's just sort of patently obvious to me that like, oh, the universe is running this gig, so I don't have to plan out like how I will meet them or how, how I will get the job. It's just like, just take baby steps that feel right and just feel good. The most important thing, as you remind me all the time, is feeling good. It's better to be feeling good than to like feel terrible and have negative thoughts running through your head and then do a bunch of things that you think will get you that thing. Like, cause it's literally like you're defeating your own you're defeating the purpose while you're doing that.
Yeah, I liked what I heard Abraham say once is, oh yeah, I'm so powerful, I'm blocking that thing I really want so badly.
Yeah, that's the irony of like, when people say, "Oh, I can't ever get, fill in the blank." It's like, and I'm trying to think of an example. I feel like I've heard people say a lot, like, "Oh, well, for me, I mean, I don't, I have a belief that I don't win things like contests and lotteries
Yeah,
and things like that."
yeah.
And it's like, it's amazing. Like I have like literally, I can pretty much do any sort of scratch off or anything. Not left to my own devices, I will lose. And it's sort of like, that's amazing that I have prevented. I'm such a strong manifester that I
Yeah, yeah.
manifested that belief. Like for all the years I've been going, I have kept that. That's really powerful. But the reality is, like, I could, if I wanted to, flip
You
that.
absolutely
I
could. You so
Yeah,
could.
yeah,
And that was the thing, like I think I shared with you recently, several weeks ago, I took myself off all the dating apps. I just closed
yeah,
out all of
yeah,
my accounts
yeah,
because what I realized was that every time I got on, I'd have this moment of hope.
yeah,
And then, but I had like 99% negative emotions. I'm
yeah,
like, Steph, this is not giving you good vibes. Like, just
yeah.
get off it. That nothing's happening here. Mm. And so I started, as you were saying, vision boards. I have in my iPhone an album of like, I call my fellow Ben. His name is energetically, I've given him Ben. And so I'll have conversations with him. At night I'll snuggle with my pillow and imagine, we're lying together, and I'll just look, I have all these different images. And so that feels good. Like that is conjuring the energy of the man that I'm dating in my vortex. And then also, the experience that I had up in Marietta last year, the year before last, because energetically, he's the closest thing that I've had, and
Mm-hmm.
actually this lifetime of what I really want. And so I'll imagine that energy as well. And so I'm a powerful manifester, and I've been blocking meeting someone to date that I really like and who really likes me because I have all this negative thoughts about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just softening that and taking those things out of my life that aren't perpetuating what I really do want. So
The
that feels good to
interesting
do that.
the interesting thing to me about that is, it's funny because I've had this thought, and I've heard a lot of people, especially like the older you get, and you're using the dating apps, say, "Oh, the dating apps are terrible. They're all terrible." I met one person actually through a dating app, and she hated all the dating apps so much that she created like a negative nickname for each of the dating apps. Like she was like, it was like, "Okay, stupid," and I forget
Uh,
what the other ones.
that's funny.
Plenty of jerks or something instead of plenty of fish or something like that. But the thing is, the reality is, and this is hard for me to admit too, but the dating apps are fantastic and terrible because all the dating app does is just meet you right where your vibration is. That's all it does. That's all it does. I have a friend back in New York City many, many years ago. He was in the right headspace, had the right vibration. He went on Match.com for the first time ever. He met one woman. It, they became boyfriend girlfriend and stayed together for years. Like it's literally like it. There's this illusion that it's the dating app that's the problem, and the reality is that I have to remind myself is if I go on there and I start taking in all this data, the pictures, and do I have likes or do I have messages or whatever, is there anybody I'm interested in, anybody interested in me, if I take that data and be like, this app is terrible, I'm getting nothing from this app, it's terrible, why am I on here? That is not about the app. That is not about OkCupid or Match.com or anything like that. That is about me and my
And I
vibration
do. I
about
have
meeting
a
someone.
horrible vibration
Yeah,
with these dating
you and
apps.
I both do.
And so it
It's so
really
weird that we're
served,
both single right now.
and it so served me to get off. I had
Yeah,
this thought last night, oh, maybe we
yeah.
could jump back on. I was like, no, let's not.
I think that's what it sounds silly, but it is literally one of the most important things I think I can do is like if I am doing something that on the surface, is designed to get me this thing that I'm trying to allow into my life, but
Mhm.
that thing triggers me in a way that
It's a
it
good
kicks
word,
up my negative
triggers.
vibration,
Yeah,
is
triggers.
quit that.
Yeah,
Quit
yeah,
that thing.
yeah.
Like literally go to
Oh,
the beach or listen to your favorite song or whatever, all these things we talk about. It's like you need to be in a good vibration to allow anything into your life that you really, really want.
so this is what it reminds me of for me with dating and meeting someone is the woman who so badly wants to get pregnant and tries all the fertility things, and they're like, doing the rhythm method, and they just cannot. They've been trying for years to get pregnant, her and her partner, and can't get pregnant. And then they finally just say, forget about it, and they go to adopt a child,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then she's pregnant
She gets pregnant. Yeah,
within a year. And I'm
yeah,
like, Steph, you need to like let go of it completely. It's going to happen when it
yeah,
happens. It's going to be totally organic.
yeah.
But I'm the one who's blocking it. And that's
That's. I mean, it's really.
fucking, I
Yeah,
hate saying that, but it is the truth. It's
it's
like,
true.
as Abraham said, I am I'm a powerful manifester. I am. My energy is so powerful, and I am so blocking it with my resistant thoughts. I am
Yeah.
stopping what I want. And it's like, ah.
I mean, I think again, it's not, and I don't want me or you or anybody to feel bad about the fact that we do that. That, at least from my experience growing up in America and the time that I've grown up, that's what we teach people. You know, we teach people, if you want something, go fight to go get it. If something's bothering you, fight against it to get it out of your life. You know, and it really, there's a lot of thought and language and everything around fighting and fighting and fighting. And it's like what we don't realize is, and Abraham really is the one that taught me this, is that fighting essentially is resisting. And all resisting does is it creates more of that thing. So the more you fight something, I mean,
It slows it down. It slows
yeah,
down what I want from coming. That's all. It's not
I,
that it's
I
not
mean,
going to happen, because it's totally going to happen,
I've
but
seen
it's
so
just slowing
many,
it down.
as you know, I'm trying to give up my hobby of politics, but I've seen so many elections in this country where, and they say this in The Secret too, and it's totally true, where like everybody like hates one of the candidates and that candidate wins, and it's always like everybody hates that person. How did they win? And it's like, well, not enough people were pro the other person.
Mm.
It's like all the energy went to
It
the
was to
person
the
that they
person
hated.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Just like Helen Hadsel, she tells the story about how they went to a party. And by this time, she was very well known for winning things. And it
yeah,
was her husband's office Christmas party. And they were raffling off something. So everybody came in and they got a ticket. And as soon as they saw her come in, they're like, oh, well, don't get a ticket because Helen's gonna win. And she
yeah,
said, all that she goes, I wasn't asking for their energy. I wasn't
yeah.
taking their energy. They were all giving me their energy. So then it came time to pick the ticket from the fishbowl, and the owner of the company said, I'm not picking the ticket. I'm not getting involved in this. So then this woman she maybe didn't like Helen. She goes, she's not going to win. I'll pick the ticket. I'm going to pick a different ticket. And she swirls it around and puts her hand in there and pops out,
Yeah,
Helen won.
yeah,
She goes, because they all gave me their energy.
yeah, yeah. That's I mean, that's really the thing. Like, there's a saying one of my friends used to say is, where your focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
really true. It's
Yeah.
really like if you
Well, and it's the law of attraction. It's, what do they say? It's not the law of oh, I can't even think of the word right now, but it's not, we don't say no. We
right,
just giving the attention to it is saying yes to it.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
think
not the law of
that's.
assertion, it's the law of attraction.
There's times where I talk about the law of attraction incorrectly, and you, as you should, point out where I'm off, which is I'll say like, oh, I'm stopping this thing, and it's more like, well, you're delaying that thing, but
Yeah.
you're also
Yeah.
welcoming in the lack of it. Like it's really like the law of attraction just brings stuff
You
all
know
day. That's
what?
all it
So
does.
that's what, oh, I love that terminology, Con. I'm welcoming in. What'd you say? I'm welcoming in.
I don't remember.
Oh, we have a rewind. What did he say, everyone? Welcoming in, not allowing that thing. Is that what you said? Oh,
Yeah,
crap
something like that.
balls.
I mean, the
Oh,
point
go
being,
back.
you're always allowing something in. It's never really. It may look like, oh, I'm not allowing X in, but you're always allowing something in. It's just
Yeah.
whether you're allowing
Yeah.
in what you want or what you don't want.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I'm always allowing something in.
And that's the thing that's hard. And I think a lot of people like me, that's why it was really important for me to hear Abraham and learn sort of the next phase from her. Because after I watched The Secret, I did what a lot of people did, which is I tried to practice the law of
Try really
attraction
hard.
as I understood it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
I
stuff
remember
didn't
doing
show
that.
up. Some did actually, but some didn't. And then I would beat myself up for like, oh, I guess I'm not good enough at practicing this thing. And studying Abraham as kind of like the next level helped me understand that. Oh, well, it's not about that. It's not about like trying to do the law of attraction really hard. Like you'll say all the time, law of attraction is operating all the time.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you don't
like
have to
they
like
say
you
the
don't have to
law of
call it
gravity.
in. You don't have
Yeah.
to like get
We're
the
gonna do
special
this
rock that
now.
makes it appear.
Yeah.
you know, if
Law of
the rock
attraction, we're gonna
makes you
do this
feel
now.
it more, that's fine. But
Yeah, right.
it's
Any
always there
tools?
whether we want it or
Yeah,
not.
any tools.
Wayne Dyer did this thing. I think I mentioned this pretty recently, actually. But he, in the Power of Intention, his PBS special, he would he talks about like getting peace, and people will be like, "Wow, I can't get any peace." And he's like, "Well, you don't go to the universe and go, give me some peace, give me some peace. I need peace." It's like peace is ever
It
present.
is.
It's whether
Yeah.
you can align with it and allow it to flow into you. Like, there's no way to like go out and like hunt down peace and capture it and put it in you. like, but that's how we think of a lot of things, that it's really this like it's this crusade, this fight to go out and get what we
Yeah,
want.
that
Rah, rah, rah.
that's
It's really not
resistance
the
right
energy.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
Cool.
2024, we're off and running.
Welcome it in.
Get more of what you want in 2024. i
Watch
think we should
this.
I think this entire year we should only talk about our dating.
Oh my God.
I just feel like the whole show just gets better when we do that.
No.
I don't know why,
Well, and
because
I
we still
just like,
haven't manifested our partners yet.
oh, we will. Well, and so
I know.
this is what I wanted to say. I forgot earlier, but it's like, Steph, you're gonna get what you want. And then
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, what's gonna be the next thing that you want? You're like, oh yeah, I have that now, and I love it.
Well,
But now I want, it's endless. It's
that's
infinite.
the thing about relationships, especially for me. It's all, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, not on the podcast, but just as when we're talking as friends, like, because when I'm single, and maybe some people can relate, when I'm single, it feels like it's like I'm like walking through a desert for years, and like there's no sign of it anywhere. And yet, whenever I get into a relationship that works, it always feels like I just sort of wake up one day and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship. Like, how does that happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't this Herculean effort. It did sort of
Yeah,
unfold naturally,
yeah,
and
yeah,
whether it was using a dating site or not, like, it just sort of, that's how things, it flowed.
yeah,
It flowed.
exactly. Yeah,
And I think the tough part for me is just remembering that in the times, like in the example of relationships when I'm single, it's like I'm still in the flow.
yeah,
It's just that the thing that I want hasn't shown up yet, or the
yeah.
person or the
And it
relationship.
will. It will. It's almost like
It
turning
is
a
on its
corner.
way and it is flowing.
Yeah,
I don't
it'll
need to
just.
agonize it. I don't need to view it as this desert and this, wasteland of,
Because at every corner there is someone for us. It's just a matter of being in the receiving of that
yeah,
instead of turning right.
yeah.
You know, just go left.
But we should talk next episode. We should talk about our resistance, like why we have resistance,
I thought we just did.
more in depth.
More depth.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Happy
joining
New
us
Year,
today.
everyone.
Yeah, happy 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Uh, I'm on the wrong part of the script. Remember that at this point, here in January 1st, 2024, we're still posting a brand new episode for you every single Monday morning. We truly appreciate you doing whatever your platform allows you to do to support the podcast. That helps other people find us. We love that. Thank you so much. Also, we have a Patreon now, so if you'd like to financially support us, the link for that is down in the doodly doo and YouTube. You can click there and give a small amount every month. It'd help us go financially. It'd be great. Yeah, and we wish you a happy and abundant week and a happy and abundant 2024. And we look forward to you joining us again on the next episode of Co-Creation Station. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.
Bye.